Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Just getting ready to finish off all of these trees. Now, yesterday we sort of maintained realism as much as we could, and, I mean, as much as we could whilst using this Brux chipper, admittedly. But, you know, that's all well and good, and it does work, and all the rest of it. But, at the same time, we need to get this job done. We've only got a few weeks left on this map, and I am sure that you don't want me to spend hours and hours and hours, weeks and weeks, going through and doing this absolutely realistically. So we're going to rush around the map now with the rest of where the rest of these trees are, and I'm hoping that I can do this without having to move it too much. Okay, maybe we do need to move it. And am I actually going to be able to get that last little bit? You always get these little tiny bits of stump that are really, really annoying, and you just can't reach them. It's about this last week, yesterday I think it was, I said about this. So yes, we're going to go around and we're going to remove all the rest of the stumps and all the rest of the trees if we can, and then we're going to go back to our main storage area. There is one tiny bit there, and I've got a feeling that that is there to stay. Oh, something moved. I don't know if it was the pile of wood chips or if it was something else. And I think what we're going to have to do is plough round that little bit, because I don't think that this is going to do anything at all. I think that bit is just not moving. We've removed most of it, and I only actually moved across there once, so you've got that. There's a little bit right there, and the stump is gone from underneath it. It's just where the chainsaw's gone through. So whether I could actually try to cut something. There we go. It did a small cut then. Just keep moving it around like that. It might do something right. Oh, no, I did. It looked like it was going to do something. There we go. Do another cut. If I can do a couple of little cuts on it, maybe it will then be sort of recognised by the tractor and the stump grinder, something like that. Sometimes you've got to play around with it and sort of push all the different options. Just test everything, anything you can think of. Try all that you know. No, do all that you know and try all that you don't. Famous line from a very famous poem. If anybody can tell me what it is, if I actually remember, I will read out the first person who tells me what that poem is from. Or what the poem is, where it's from. That is... Hang on, is it going to work? No. So yes, do all that you know, try all that you don't. Does anybody know what that is from? What the piece of literature is from? It's quite famous, and it's one of my favourites. I absolutely love it. I genuinely love that one. So it would be very cool if somebody could tell me that they also recognise it. That would be very, very cool. I would like that. So I will try to remember to mention your name. I know I'm terrible at mentioning names. I'm also terrible at remembering to do the weekly question. So the weekly question is for next week. Well, say for next week, for the next map, I mean. What would you like me to do as the timescale on the next map? What timescale do you think we should use? Do you think that we should go for normal timescale, so just 1 time speed, and run the plant growth on normal, and then when each time we complete a task, we move on to the next one, we'll just speed up time so that we can sort of move between each one? Or would you prefer to see me doing it at 15 times speed, which is one that we haven't tried yet, and running it on slow plant growth? But when we get to, like, we'll set ourselves a task to do during the day, and if we get to the end of the day and we haven't finished it, then we will sort of have to call it quits, and that'll be it. Or, you know, maybe we could work a little bit late in the night, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. So it provides us with a little bit of challenge that we have not yet introduced to the gameplay. So it's your vote. It's your game. Head in the comment section down below. Let us know which one you want and why. And, of course, don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right-hand corner. Now, last week, at the beginning of last week, we took potatoes and we took them up to the sale point. And I said that I had this really cool idea for something that we could start doing in the game. And then I said that, you know, we got a bad price for them. So it turned out that those potatoes were for animal feed only, and we decided not to use them. I then forgot to tell you what my idea was, and I completely forgot for the rest of the week. I've now remembered to tell you what my idea is, and it's something that I was thinking of. I don't know if we would add it into our next Let's Play, but I was thinking that probably the following one we could sort of add something in. Now, my idea is random disasters. Just, well, random things, rather than disasters, just random events that happen. So we could do something like, now I don't know how this would work yet, I've got no idea just yet, but something along the lines of we would, there we go, roll a dice at the beginning of the week. Now it would happen once a week, so we would roll a dice at the beginning of the week, and right, see, there's another little bit right there, and I got a feeling that this one's not going to register, which is going to be a real nuisance, because that is something that we definitely want to get rid of, because there's going to be a stump right in our way. Come down this way a bit and see if we can get it from this angle. Yeah, so we roll a dice at the beginning of the week, and you could have 3 options. So 1 or a 2 is something to do with machinery. 3 or 4 is something to do with stock, and a 5 or a 6 is something to do with crops. And then we have, you know, 3, 4, 6 random events that might happen. So one of them could just be no change, nothing happens, so that's okay, you can breathe a sigh of relief. One of them could be something quite severe, you know, we have a machine break down, or animals die that we're unable to do anything for, or something like that. So you know, maybe at the beginning of the week I'd have to alter the number of stock that we have on the map, reducing it by a few numbers. Something like that. That's kind of my idea. I don't know what you guys think of it, so let me know. And it would add a random element of gameplay. It would have to be realistic events that could potentially happen. So some of our crops got diseased, or you know, we got something bad happened to one of the crops. Now, obviously, we can't just go and delete the crop. I mean, we could just say that we then got to plough the crop in. We can't do anything with it. Or we could just say that, you know, something bad has happened, and we have to accept the lowest price available for a particular crop, right? We are absolutely not getting that one, are we? So what are your thoughts on random events happening across the gameplay? Now, it wouldn't all be bad. Occasionally, there would be something good would happen. So, like, one of the events for each option. So you've got a 1 or 2 for machinery, 3 or 4 for animals, 5, 6 for, yeah, yada yada yada. And then you have 6 options after that. Now, one of the options could be no event, nothing happens, and then one of the options could be a really, really good thing could happen, and then, you know, one of them is a really, really bad thing, and then a couple of kind of in between, like just moderate events. So changes to different things that we've got to do. So maybe we do have to get rid of some animals or something, but not very many. So a couple of animals, or something along those lines. So, no idea what you think of this. I'd really like to hear your views. Give me suggestions, thoughts. Do you think we should do it? Would you prefer not to see this kind of random element being introduced? I'd like to hear everything you've got to say on the subject. So get into the comment section. Tell me everything that you want to know, and we'll discuss this more in the future. I don't think that we'd start it on the next map. I think we would be the one after that. And I'm really hoping that all of these stumps are not going to give us a little odd piece like that stuck up that we're going to have to deal with on every single one. Now, this one, is it going to work? Nope. We're going to have to approach that one from the other way, or otherwise it could end up glitching and bugging right out completely. We're getting there. We are getting there. We've done this field down here. We're coming down through, and we'll quickly see in a minute if there's anything else we've got to do. So we can just remove that bit. Go on. For once, just remove the whole stump. There we go. Much better. So we've got one little partial stump, but that's up against the piece over there, like that little dip that's in the middle. So I'm not too worried about that one. That should be okay. I did want to take a look and see if it was possible to plough in the winter at all, or if it's only not possible when the ground is frozen. I'm not quite sure. I think that you just can't do it during the winter. I think that's one of the things with seasons. It's just, if it's winter, no ploughing. So if that's the case, then the first day of spring is when we're going to have to join all of our fields together, and I think really that's kind of the next main event. We do need to make sure that our animals are fed, so we're going to have to buy them a little bit more food and stuff. So we're going to have to spend a day at the beginning of next week getting some straw, getting some more hay and things like that, getting them back to the animals, and making sure that they've got necessary food and stuff to see them through. We may end up selling the Crone trailer that we've got and purchase a different one instead. I'm not sure which one. I'm thinking the Agro Liner, actually. It's this one that I haven't used a great deal. The big trailers. And if you look here, you've got these tippers here. And I was thinking that one there. That is a 45,000 litre trailer. You've got this one, which is 47,000, the Joskin. Currently using that one in the time-lapse series. So maybe we go for the Agro Liner. I don't know. I mean, maybe we could go for one of these others. I want one on a tractor and I don't want it on a dolly. So that rules out the Cramper and it rules out the Flegel. We could go for one of these modded ones, but I'd like a large capacity trailer. So we're looking at, I mean, the Farm Tech there, it's only like 30-odd thousand. That one's 33, so it's not really big enough. 35, it's kind of, I'd prefer over 40,000 litres. And all of these are kind of, well, we got that one there. It's I think it's Coverco. 45,000 litre trailer there. And we've also got this Cramper over here, the big body, which is 47,000 litres as well. So, yeah, I don't know which trailer we'll go for yet, but it's going to be a great big one. That's the one that I'm leaning towards at the moment, but that doesn't mean that I can't do one of these others. So let me know if there's a particular trailer you'd like to see me using, and I will see what I can do. It's got to be a big trailer. We're going big now, remember, so it does have to be a big one. We could try this Penta one. This one's a little bit different to most of the other trailers, so that one could be quite an interesting one to use with a triaxle on it. Could be interesting. Most of these other ones are a little bit small for what I had in mind. Oh, that one there, that's the really big one, isn't it? The Vicini. You know, I got a feeling that that might be the one that I've altered for the Unrealistic series. I don't think it is, but it might be. That one there, that one's absolutely monstrous. A quad axle trailer, 56,000 litres, and tips right up. It doesn't have one of the pushbacks. It's got a tip on it instead, so that one could be quite interesting to use. So we'll have to see about that. But yeah, so we do want a trailer, and using a trailer is going to make some of the tasks quite a bit easier. I'm also hoping that with... well, we'll use that for the silage so that we can put the silage into our mixed feeder. We're going to get another method of doing that. It's going to be quite a bit quicker than the method that we use at the moment. And then bales, I'm going to be using the auto load on the trailer. And I know some of you find the auto load quite painful and you really don't like the idea of it, but unfortunately we do want to kind of keep things moving along. So it's just a necessary evil is how I'm looking at it at the moment, for those of you who don't like it. Personally, I like it. I've done loads and loads of loader work. I've done loads of loader work in real life, so I don't really feel the need to keep doing loader work all the time, because I don't think that the game... I don't think we need it to maintain realism. I don't think we have to have loader work every time. I've done some. I've shown you the loader work. You've seen it, so... you know, you can sort of appreciate that it's there and it's been done. We've nodded our head towards that realism quite enthusiastically, and we've done quite a bit. But we still want to keep everything moving along nicely. And with that in mind, I'm actually thinking that if we were to get an auto-load trailer load of hay, we could then just drive up in front of the mixed feeder and auto-unload straight into it. Would make life so... it would be a lot quicker. We can get a load of straw and we can do the same with that straight into the animals, so that's them taken care of. I think it would be a lot quicker if we could do that. We could sort of get through everything and keep it all moving along, and then the next thing that we could do is... yeah, well, that means that we could get all the animals dealt with the first day next week, and then that's going to be pretty much it. We will have to sort of top the animals up later on in the winter. So we're going to have to sort of do a little bit to animals through the winter, but we're also going to have snow to deal with, and we're going to take a look at a mod or two for the snow. I forgot about that one. I need to go and put that one down with the actual combine down over by the farm, don't I? So there's that one to move. Yeah, I thought that it would be pretty cool if we could do some stuff with... have I picked up all of the trees over the other side? I think I have. Yeah, if we could do some stuff with the snow, we just want to play around with the snow for an episode or two, and then we've got to get on with the spring planting. So that would take care of next week and move into the following week with spring planting. And then after the spring planting is done, you know, we've only got like 3 weeks left. So, you know, maybe we could do a bit more silage just to nod our heads at that one, and then we can do some harvesting as well and get the class Lexian rolling out across a load of our new improved big field. So we've got... actually, the spring planting, we can't do the spring planting until after we've modified the size of the field. So we've got to do that first. So we're on a tight schedule. We're on a very tight schedule. And because we're on such a tight schedule, I don't really think it would be a good idea for me to mess around doing loads of work and doing that all ultra realistically, because it's going to result in us not being able to do our harvest before it's time to move to South America. We have our passports. They've all been sent up. We've got our passports back. They're all ready. Everything has been stamped and approved. Our visas have come through. So this is happening, folks. We are moving to South America. Everything is ready. Everything is in place. And we do have one slight issue in that some of this money that we have may not have been acquired through precisely legal means. There was the whole case of the bank robbery in town. Nobody ever found the money, and nobody was quite sure where money went. It was around about the time that we bought one of our new tractors with cash. Now I'm not saying anything. You know, I would hate to like incriminate anyone or anything with the the wrong word being said, but you just need to bear in mind that we don't really want to stay here just in case something went wrong and people started to ask questions maybe about where that cash came from. I mean, obviously we won the lottery or something like that, but there is that money, and where did it come from? People may ask questions that we don't necessarily want to answer. So we have to go to South America. We can't delay. We can't sort of push things back. And at the moment, everything is legitimate and above board. So let's keep it that way, shall we? Let's just make sure that the wrong questions aren't asked. We don't want the wrong questions being asked. That would be the sensible approach, is to not have anybody asking the wrong questions. Why does it keep doing that? It keeps leaving like a little tiny bit. I've never encountered it doing this before. At least we sort of figured out how to... We've got to lift the stump grinder up to be able to make contact with the bit that's left up in the air. But I've never actually seen it doing this before. And is it going to get that? No, it's not, which means we have to go round the other side of it. There were no more trees here, were there? There was a couple of trees over there, the other side of the road. So we will go over to those in just a moment. Take that one out. I left that tree there quite deliberately because we didn't want to fell any more of them. So let's just back that one up on there. And oh, it's all about it. There we go. So hopefully that's going to take the top of the stump down. Knock it down. No, it's not. I've still not done it. And lift that one right up like that. Take the next bit out. Please work. I don't want this last little bit being left behind. Just try moving it a bit, maybe that will work. Occasionally you get the animation, but it doesn't actually do anything. All the animation and the sound. I don't think that's going to do anything. That doesn't seem to be doing it. Let's jump out and take a look. That is a lot of wood chips for a slice of wood that is essentially non-existent and defying all known laws of gravity. It's these here. If you have the sawdust thing on and working, it does very weird things. You just get the biggest pile of sawdust that you can think of. It's absolutely massive. You just get this huge mountain of sawdust turn up, and there's not really a lot that you can do with it because once the pile of sawdust gets high enough, it sort of obscures the tree stump, and that makes life even more difficult for you. So you've got to sort of soldier on through it and hope that it disappears pretty quick. Now, let's move that one there. Gone, just like that. And that has actually got a piece of tree stump. Not tree stump, a piece of wood right there. And I'm going to take this over here and I'm going to drop it just over... What is this? Looks like a crazy golf course. I'm sure this is supposed to be a mill, but it does actually look like a crazy golf course, doesn't it? That's the kind of thing that you'd expect to see at Crazy Golf. It certainly seems too small for an actual mill to be running. I don't know. Is that too small or not? It does look a bit small. It does seriously look like a Crazy Golf thing. I haven't actually played that for years. Not for a very long time. I have played it a couple of times. I'm not very good. Well, I say not very good. I think absolutely awful would better define my progress when it comes to playing Crazy Golf and similar such games. It's just a kind of one of those non-existent things that is never going to happen. Frithgar is never going to be good at something like that. It's just a no-go right from the start. There's no hope of me ever being good at something like that. Now, we've got one tree here on the corner and one tree over there on that corner, just to make life a little bit easier for us. And hopefully we can get rid of both of the stumps as well. There we go, there's one. Is it actually going to grind the stump down? It's kind of a bit of a lottery, really, whether or not the stump grinder works. So, what do you think of the idea of the random... Well, it's not disasters. The disasters could be included. You know, we could have disasters available, but it's random events. And I would love to see that added as kind of a thing for Farming Simulator 19. Like, random events. You could choose to include random events. You could either have them active or you could switch random events off, one or the other. So you could go along and have your random events going on, and right, we'll keep this one on the front, and we'll see if this actually unloads into the loft when we get back down to the bottom. I think that's all the trees, all the stumps, everything gone. So the next thing we want to do is see if we can plough. I don't think we can in the winter, but we do have enough time that we could at least just put a plough onto the tractor and run a little test just to see if it will work. If it doesn't, then so be it. We'll worry about it another time. And after we've unloaded this one, we'll then see about... I think we'll sell it, actually. I don't think there's any reason to keep it. So, yeah, the next thing that we need to do is we'll just test if we can plough the fields now. I don't think we can, and if we can't, we need to start thinking about feeding the animals. So we're going to go and get a new mod that I was using in the time-lapse, and I'm going to be using it on this one as well. Very, very cool mod. It's a silage cutter, and it will actually pick up anything. It's basically, you put it on the ground, and it just gathers up anything that's in front of it. It's kind of like a mulcher slash snowblower thing, so it will pick up the snow and blast it over to the side. The only issue is that you can't actually physically control which direction the spout goes. Like on this one here, I can't physically move that spout in any direction. I mean, I do try. I press like N and M, which are like likely candidates, K and L. It doesn't move. You can't do it with the mouse button either, which is a real shame. So you've got to go near a trailer so that it does that. And no, I didn't actually want it to go into the trailer. It's now... Actually, let's just move away from there. So we've dumped a little bit into that trailer. I'm hoping that it would come over here. We'd be able to do it here. Is it going to do it? It's not going to recognize that there, is it? It's not going to have it. So I'm going to have to move over here. And if I go close... No, actually, I don't need to go close to the trailer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it like that. And I'm going to tip it onto that heap with the unload anywhere. Where's it going to go? Oh, it's just going to drop it directly behind us. So if I'll back up a little bit. And then we'll use a loader to... We've got our loader over there somewhere. The JCB up there. We can use that to start spooning some of these wood chips into the storage. The other thing I'm not sure about is, will it work in the storage? Will we actually be able to tip out of a bucket wood chips into the storage, or do we need to put them into a trailer first and then put them into storage? I'd like to get all of these wood chips into storage. Oh, I nearly forgot. We've got all these stumps here, so we're not actually going to start on the cows yet. We're just going to unload this one first. Let's get this one unloaded, and as soon as it's done... Right, we've got one more thing that we want to do. We've got the stumps there, but we've also got some trees there that I forgot about. So we're going to turn this one on, like this. And I've got it on unload anywhere, so I'm hoping it will stay on the unload anywhere. All of these branches here should be able to be moved by hand. They should be. So whether that will actually work or not, I don't know. So we can shove the mower out the way with them. So let's run this one up here. And yes, they do. So... For those of you who wanted realism, we do have a little bit of realism coming in for you right now. We're going to just drop these in by hand into this wood chipper. We'll pick all of these up. Remember, this was the tree that was there overhanging the silage pit, and I thought it was kind of in the way. I wanted it gone, so I chopped it up, moved it all out. I shredded all of the the leaves off of it so that it wouldn't cause us any problems. And that is making up a nice big heap there. So we'll get the rest of these and we'll put them in. My question for next week is, what timescale would you like me to use when we get to South America? Would you like me to do it on 1 times speed and normal plant growth, or 15 times speed and slow plant growth? It's your vote. It's your game. Head into the comment section down below. Let us know which one you want and why. And of course, don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right-hand corner. And see if we can throw them. Yes, we can actually. This is working quite well. So all we're going to need to do from here is just remove the stumps once we've done this bit. And then once we've removed the stumps, it'll be quite easy to clear up the little patches of wood chips that are left. Because we're not going to be ploughing any of this up, I would like to make sure that we get this removed and looking fairly neat and tidy around the yard. It's getting rid of all of these wood chips. We need to be able to move them. And I'm deliberately trying to stay away from using a wheel loader on this map, because we've got a wheel loader going now on the other map, and wheel loaders are something we tend to use quite a lot. I wanted to see if we could stay with using the little JCB that we got. Now, I know that telescopic handler is not generally one that you would see on a bigger farm. It is quite a small telescopic handler, and so you would normally on a bigger farm you would see bigger telescopic handlers. You'd move up to the bigger scale of things, and so it would sort of be, it's a little bit more unusual to see that on a bigger farm. But that being said, don't rule it out. I have seen all kinds of machines on all kinds of farms. There is no right and wrong way. There is no hard and fast rule for anything on any farm, is basically what I've learnt over the years. And right, can we move that table out of the way? No, we can't. That's not a movable object, but we can do that there. And then we've got a whole load of logs here as well that we need to move out. That one's too heavy. Really? That one's too heavy? Okay. Some of these are going to be difficult to get out of here. I don't think... How is that one too heavy? That's a tiny little log. Object too heavy. Right, how are we going to do this then? This is going to be difficult. So that one there is saying it's too heavy, so I'm going to need to, can I crouch down? There we go, I can get it like that. Hopefully I can chop this piece out. It's very, very difficult to use a chainsaw in these kind of cramped conditions. I wouldn't advise putting a chainsaw under your feet and then cutting. That's probably not the safest way to do it. If you're going to use a chainsaw, then at least try to, do something safe. Don't use Frithgar's approach. Frithgar's approach doesn't appear to be particularly safe. Let's try another slice off of there, and then we're going to have to cut that next one up. I think we're going to have to cut these up really, really small here. So I'm thinking maybe we'll just kind of leave most of them exactly where they are, and we're not going to worry about them. Let's cut this one in half. I don't know why that one shouldn't be too heavy. That one seems fairly small. So I'm not sure why it's claiming that it's too heavy. Because look, that's not a particularly big branch at all, is it? Get the next one out. I mean, I suppose that big... I reckon it was like barely on. There's hardly anything in it whatsoever. I'm literally taking slices of this one. This is quite a big branch when you think about it. Now, I can cut it down this way. I can split it in half. And I love the fact that you can actually split logs in this game. This is to me, this is quite sensational. We have split a log. We've properly split a log in half as though we were using axe. You can actually use an axe, but, it's the next best thing. I think maybe we could just leave that one there. There's only one. There's no others. We've removed all of the other logs, so I think maybe we could leave that one there. The rest of them, we will take them down here. So let's run down here and chuck them in as quickly as we can. And then that will be everything that we've got time for. So in our next episode, we will see about moving some of these wood chips out of this field. I'll remove these stumps before the next episode. That's something that I will do. We've seen stump grinding. We don't need to worry about that. So we can move on from there. We need to get the animals all fed again. And we won't spend any more than one episode getting the animals fed. We need to get them topped up with food, hay, straw, water. Water is fine at the moment, and it shouldn't actually take very long to do it. It shouldn't take very long at all, because we're going to go and auto load a trailer up at the dealership, get a load of food up there, so hay and straw. We can auto load that straight into the machine onto the trailer and then bring it back down here. So it should be fairly quick, and then we can again auto unload straight into that one there and into the cows themselves, So we should get through that job pretty quickly, and then we can move on to the next one. Before we do that, we are going to attach a plow to a machine and see if we can plow in the winter. I don't think we can. I'm 99.9% certain that we can't plow in the winter, but we will test it just in case. Because if we can, then obviously that's going to be the thing that we do first before we do anything else. But I don't, like I said, I don't think we can, so it doesn't really matter. And is that all of the logs? I think it is. Yes. We will leave that one there for now. I'm not going to worry about that. If you enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give me a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. We'll just unload the rest of these right here. And as soon as these are unloaded, that is all that we're going to be doing with the wood chipper. There he's gone. He's done. He's finished. So we've finished that one. We can fold it up and we can put the spout in as well. I think we will sell it. I'll take this one back to the dealership and sell it. The stump grinder I'm going to keep on for a minute because I still need to grind those stumps, so I will do that. But yes, that is... I think that's it. Yes, there is nothing. I did tell you about the random disasters. If you like the idea of the random disasters, then please get into the comment section. Talk about it. Not random disasters, random events. It's got to be events. It's got to be random events. If you like that idea, head into the comment section, talk about it, let us know your thoughts and your feelings on that idea. And what sort of things would you like to see included in it? What, you know, is there anything in particular that you would like to see added as a random event? Now, I know that some people might like the idea of tornadoes and stuff. We'll only include tornadoes if we're actually working in an area where tornadoes actually happen. This is still a realistic series. We still sort of pretend that it's a realistic series. But anyway, until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.